Hello, it's Linda again with Make It Now. How many of you have a folder like this, a book, that has all your passwords, your account information, all your details, personal information, whatever, and you have papers stuck everywhere, you've got it, maybe you've got a folder, but it's not organized. Well, today, I'm going to organize my stuff. I'm tired of it being all over the place. I want to be able to modify it at times, change it. If I have all this stuff in here, I'm going to run out of pages. I want to make it to where I can actually modify it, change it, upgrade it, add more stuff, take stuff away. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to make a journal just for our important documents. So what you'll want first is, of course, whatever your documents are. And I found a tablet of this grid paper. I absolutely adore it because when I make my signatures, my inserts, it can go this way, it can go this way because the lines go both ways. So I can do my ledgering information in these squares and it makes everything balanced and I just love it. If you use line paper, you can't really because line paper is long ways and you fold it in half and it makes it really a narrow book. You can do that, of course, but this way I can use 8.5 by 11 because if I use line paper and it goes this way, I have to fold it this way and look how narrow it becomes, narrow and long. This way, I don't have to do any cutting. I just fold it in half, and that's what I'm going to use for my signatures. Now, a signature is a block of inserts that go inside your book, and I'll show you how that works. So we need some of this kind of paper. You can get it anywhere. Walmart's not very expensive. And again, you don't have to. You can just use plain paper. All right, and so then I have this cereal box. This is like pumpkin seed flax. I don't know. Really, it's this. And I'm able to go, oh yeah, it looks perfect in there. I can fit it. This can be my spine. And then I'll do the next one on here and I'll show you how to do that. And then the next thing you want to do, because in the middle of your book, sometimes in the middle of your book, you want tabs. See, like these? So I found a punch that makes tabs. But you don't have to. You can cut them out. You can do whatever you want. But I'm going to use this. And what I'm making today, I'm going to edit a lot of it out because I haven't made one before. Okay, so I'm going to have to trial and error on this. But I did get a piece of cardstock, a white one, that I'm going to use to make my tabs. So I can put tabs on each page where I need it. Then, of course, you need all kinds of glue. I just use regular old glue, and I have some glitter glue that's stronger, and then I have some berry glue. I mean, this is the kind of glue I use. This is my favorite glue. Glitter glue and the berry precision glue. This is what I use all the time. Of course, I use hot glue gun when I want to sew on emblems and things, but then the clear washable kind of glue you can use as well. Now, people use glue sticks, which I might use to establish the paper, and then you add the glue as well so that it's really secure. I have a bone folder because I like to make sure everything's nice and creased, and I have an X-Acto knife and a metal ruler. If I use a wooden ruler and I use my X-Acto knife, I might cut into my ruler, so I like to use a metal ruler. Again, use whatever you have. Don't go buy nothing. All right, so the first thing you want to do is make your signatures because then you'll know what size the book is to be. And I'm going to make sure it's folded perfectly. This one wasn't. Okay, so I'm doing that. And then I'm going to, I think, gosh, I've got a lot of information, so I'm going to pull out several of these. I don't know how many yet. I'll probably do 5 or 6 per signature. but I do know that I need a lot for my document. Okay. So you can take a couple at a time if you want. And fold them in half. Make sure that the edges match, top and bottom. And this is where the bone folder comes into play. Makes it nice and creased well. Okay. Don't do too many pages, because if you do, you start getting kind of a level of, levels. You don't want that. You want them to be constantly straight. So I'm going to go down a little bit. I'm going to just do a couple at a time so they do not make that cascading effect look. Otherwise, I'll have to cut it off. But since it's just for me, I'm not selling it. It's not going to matter so much. Just this, the best you can do is great. Okay, so here's this one. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Perfect. And then fold it in on itself like that. Okay. Now let's see. Is this going to be big enough? Is this going to allow me to do certain things? So here's the thing. Depending on your information, I have a lot of things in one category of account information, or I have some of the passwords. You can actually do a password section. I like to do a password section, and I like to do an account section. I like to do my bills and address information that's important, those kinds of things. So I need about 6 sections. So this 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 signatures, but I want 6 sections. Okay, so those are my signatures. The next thing you want to do is make the cover. Make the cover of your signature. So this is where you're going to take this particular one here and set it where you want it in the box. Now this is when you do need a pencil. So I want to cut this, but I don't want it to be exact. I want it to go out a little bit like a book does. So I'm going to just set it right in here. And I'm going to mark kind of where I want it cut, like that. Okay. So then I take my ruler. Take the ruler and the X-Acto knife. And just cut where you need to cut. So you're just making and I have a mat underneath, of course. My cutting mat allows me to cut. Might have to do it a couple of times through cardboard. Yeah. So there's one side, and then up here, I'm going to cut here. There's that. All right, make sure I've got this right here, and then I'm going to cut down here. I'm going to use scissors on this. I can just use scissors to cut this off the bottom. Now, I'm going to show you something. You see this? This looks like a tab. You can use this as your tab. So you can so use what you can use, right? Use what you have. Here's something else you can use. You can use these as tabs. See, whatever you cut off. And you can make your own. All right. So now I need to cut down the middle here. Okay. See, you just make it to where it has a little bit of a ledge, a little bit of an edge around it. Okay, you can use any kind of cereal box to do this. Now I'm going to make the exact same one on this side. They're the same. Yay, they're the same. Now we want to do a spine. Now, why you make the signatures first is because this is your spine. So you need to make the spine the size that you want it. Okay? I'm going to make it a little bigger so that I have room to grow. All right, so I'm gonna take one of these. Actually, I'm gonna take this because this is actually the size of that I need it to be. The spine has to be the same size as this. So I'm just gonna mark it. And I'll tell you what, and I'm gonna make it across so that it makes a nice, see how I'm making it like this, just like this. And then I take my signatures and I go, okay, so how wide do I want this, right? How wide do I want this? Let's take a look. Like this. Okay, well, I think it's mostly, looks like, for me, even in that book, it's 1 inch. So I'm just gonna actually make it 1 inch. Make sure I mark it 1 inch. There, and 1 inch up here. Okay. Okay, now I draw the line. All right, so this is going to be my spine, and I want it to be nice and straight, so I am going to use an X-Acto knife. I do cut a little swirly, so I'm going to use an X-Acto knife. Okay. I'll just do the ends like this. See, now this is going to go like this, and this, like this. Now I want this to be a little bit stronger, so I'm going to do 2 for the spine. And all you do is you glue it together to make it nice and strong. Okay. And I am cutting this very carefully. I'm a little wobbly. All right, so then I'm going to put the shiny sides together and glue them like that. And just glue this together. Make sure it's glued all the way to the edge. And then stick this on top. And I'm going to want to let it sit and really solidify. And by the way, you need to make sure that the ends are right. See, look at this. That's kind of goes a little farther than I like, so I'm going to cut that off. There. Yep, just a little bit more on this side. So I went into my stash and I got some material. This piece is actually going to be a perfect size to put this together. See? I have enough around the edge. And I'm going to bring it over a little bit because I don't need a lot of material on the sides. And I'm going to cut on this side just to get this piece out of the way. Okay. Now this is just a very thin piece of material. You can actually almost see through it. Again, I would make it thicker if I was to sell it, but it's just for me. I don't really care. So then I turn it this way and since this is material and not paper, I'm going to use a different kind of glue. You need to use a glue that glues well. What glues well is art glitter glue. It glues everything. So it really works well with material. So I'm going to just glue one side first. Okay, just one side first. If I have writing and you can see it through it, which you can't, so that's good. Otherwise, you'll want to make a thicker piece or put another piece inside of it and do it twice. Okay, so there's this. all the way to the edge. I mean, that's really important as it gets to the edge. And you want to glue it to the wrong side of your material. Okay. So that's on there. And then also too, like I said, you can use a glue stick. And I'm going to use a glue stick to glue this down. Just because it'll help a little bit to make it stick while I'm working. And then not only do I use a glue stick, but then I also use my glue. Okay, and I want to give it that space. So I'm going to use my bone folder to make sure it's nice and straight. And put it right there. Perfect. Do the same thing on this side. Give it that space. Make sure that it's perfectly to it. Yep, there we go. And this, of course, make sure the top and the bottom. Yep. Okay. See right here, you just want to cut it to where there's a little bit of material still there on the corner. So you want to cut like just a straight across, just like that. Just giving it just a little bit of a corner there, all around the edges. Now this piece is too long, so I'm going to cut this off to the side a little bit. Right, so that's what that looks like. So now, before I fold the ends in, I want to cover this right here. I don't have to, but I really want to. So I'm going to take some of the material that I had from the outside, and I am going to use it for the inside. So all I do is measure it from the top to the bottom. And since this is going to fold up, I'm not going to be able to see the ends. So you can go as far as you can and then just simply glue the middle down, okay? Just glue the middle down. Just like that. Just a little bit of glue in the middle. Wrong side down, and then just squish it on like that. You'll see the glue comes through just a little bit, but that's okay. It's going to dry clear, and you're not going to see it anyways because that's where the signatures are. All right, so you see now you can go like this. See? Now I'm going to do just a teeny bit of glue here, just a little bead, just to hold this down, okay? Just a little bead to hold the sides down a little bit, okay? Make it easy. Okay, just like that. All right, and because I don't have a directional material, I can do it anyway. See, I can go upside down, but if you have words or something, make sure you're doing it all in the same direction. All right, so now I'm going to glue this piece down here. That. So anyway, I'm just going to do a little bit like this. You don't have to do it a lot because you're going to secure it down inside as well. So it's going to be double secure. So the best you can do, put the glue on there, make sure it's nice and glued. Okay, now here's the fun part. Doing the corners. So you use a little glue and you put it around the corners like this. You take your fingers and you push in just a little bit and fold it down. So I do it at the same time because it's a small book. And then I do this so that the corners are nice. Okay. Again, art glitter glue is the way to go with material. Make sure you put some up here and also put it inside that little corner there so that when you push it in, the glue helps hold it. See, I need a little glue in there. Need a little glue in there, like this. So I can push it in, and then fold it over. Okay, there we go. There we go. My corners look good. Everything looks wonderful. I can open and close it. You notice I have a little bit of a opening here. I want to glue that down. I want to make sure that that's all glued down. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. You don't want to glue where it folds. Just glue down the center and on the sides, because you want to be able to have it go like this. If it glues it, you're not going to be able to be flexible. Now this is where my paper comes in, okay? This is the paper that I pulled out first. I was going to use it for my cover. It wasn't big enough, but I have it to where I can use it for the inside of my cover. So I'm going to measure it like this, and I'm just going to eyeball it. And you want to cut it to where it's right inside the edging. And I'll show you in a minute when I cut it on this one. Mark it there. So now I have paper that goes like this. If you want to get fancy, use your Distress ink and ink the edges. But again, this is for you, and you just want to get it done, right? So maybe you don't need to do this part. Okay, so that's going to go there. It just adds a little edging. If you'll notice, there's a teeny bit of difference, but not much. So I'm not going to do this side, just for an example. I only did one side. Okay, now I'm going to glue this down. Now, before you glue it down, you have to decide about your closure, because am I just going to go like this, just have the book like that, or do I want it to tie closed? Well, I don't have this tied closed. I don't want it tied closed. But if you did, before you put on these pieces, you want to put your closure. For example, I'm going to use this as a sample because I'm not doing it. Like you have a ribbon, okay, use a ribbon, and you glue your ribbon here like that. You glue it down in here, so then you put this on top. You see? Now you have your closure, right? I don't want one. Okay, so I'm just going to glue this down. And if you have little clips or something you can use, I like using these, or binder clips. These are quilting clips. You can use them to clip down the corners, because when you clip down the corners, now you've really got it down, okay? I like to clip the corners down. Let's do the other side. Again, you can use a glue stick. That helps so that you can move it around if you want. And then this. Make sure you get the edges. The edging is the most important part of this project. Right. You can get fancy, add a book plate. You can say my stuff, and then you can put also a spine, something on the spine. Okay, now we have our signatures. Let's see if it goes inside just fine. Look, perfect. Now I do have room for another signature. You can make it to where the signatures come out, they slide out, and you can remove and add pages. And you would do that by using elastic. Let me show you how that works. If you made your spine very, very strong so that you can use it to put the elastic around it, that would be great. See, here's what I mean. If you do this, your signature is open. You put the elastic, let's see, I'm going to use this piece of elastic like this. You see? Close it, and then you can tie it at the top. So now your book can be, your pages can open and be pulled out. But before I start, I'm going to do something a little bit special up here. I want to put holes up here. I want these little things that I'm going to be doing elastic in a hole. I want it to go through a hole, both top and bottom. I don't want to use the outer part of it to become my stability portion. I want to use holes, and I'll see how this works. I'm going to do 2 holes. You can do one big one. I don't have a big punch. I only have small ones. So again, this is just a work in progress. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm going to mark where I want each hole. Top and bottom. And I'm just eyeballing it like that. And then I use my crocodile punch because it's like really easy to put through material and stuff. You can use any punch you want, but I like to use my big crocodile punch. Make sure they're on the spine. So now I take my elastic. Well, first of all, before I do that, I mean, you can keep it like that, but I like to I want to put some eyelets in here. Oh yeah, I got to put my eyelets in here. There's my two eyelets on off them. As a matter of fact, it also helps to strengthen that spine a little bit. I could take these off the corner. And I'm going to allow it to go inside. Oh, it's going to be so cool that I can keep adding more and more. So I'm going to put 3 on the first eyelet. I'm going to put 3 on the second eyelet because I don't know if it's going to go through there okay or not. So I'm going to put it through the hole like that. And I'm going to put it through the bottom hole like that. So now my papers are inside like that. And then I tie this on the outside. Let me see, I might be able to use 2 on this one. Kind of make it tight a little bit so that it holds the page in. And I'm going to move this up, not to the top. Cut this off. Okay, so there's one. It's inside. Now, what I did wrong, people, what I did wrong is this. You see how I've got this elastic going up and then up? It's going to mess with my paper. You need to have the paper the size of where the holes are. So what I have to do now, which is not a big deal, is I've just got to cut these down now so that it goes right in between, the holes. Otherwise, if I just went around the edge, I wouldn't need to cut anything. I would just put the elastic around it and that would be fine. But I went as far as putting holes in it. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this down a bit. Okay, so I cut it down, so now my signatures fit right inside, like that now. See now, I don't have them going above. So I'm going to take each one of my signatures and cut it down a little bit. You just need to make sure the elastic is 1.5 the size of the spine. I'm going to do it again in that one hole, the first hole. I mean, if you can do one hole and get them all in there, that's fine too. I did two because I didn't know it was going to work. And now, before I put any signature in, I'm just going to tie this at the top. Where's that? Where'd it go? Uh-oh, came out. Tightly. Now I can leave these strings hang like this, and then I could put beads on it, make it really cute. But I'm making it practical. I don't want to have anything in my way. So there's that one. Now here's another one. Now again, this is because I want to be able to pull these out if I have to, and update material and ideas and information and all that. So I put this in here, and this one, like that. See, now I have 2 signatures in here. So if I need to pull something out because I don't like it, I can just pull the whole page out. Now I'm going to go and do the rest. Be right back. All right, so this is my last one. Actually, I did 4 on each side, so I added more signatures because I had enough space. So I'm going to use this last elastic piece, stick it in here. There's my book. Look at that. It's perfect. Now the reason why, of course, I have this big area here is because I put the holes there. So if I didn't put the holes and I didn't cut the paper down, it would have been the perfect size. But this is, like I said, it's for me. Now take a look at this. This looks kind of funky, doesn't it? I don't really like this. So I'm just going to get some ribbon. I don't know, cut off a piece like about this size, 12 inches. And I'm going to make a cute little top part for it, like that up here. I'm just going to tie it all together like that. See? Just a nice tie it together, nice knot. Put it in a bow if I want. This is where I could add beads. If I make it nice and long, I can use them for my bookmark, see? So I'm telling you, this is the simplest thing you could do to create a place to put all your important information in. I've used these, the spiral bind, but you can't add or take away paper. That's it. Then you got to get a whole new book and start over again. This way, you can just, clean it up as you need to. Oh yes, I forgot one thing. I forgot to tell you how to make the tabs. I use a little bit of a cardstock paper, and you can cut out your own tabs just like this. And then you simply glue it or staple it like that. Now what I have is this tabby maker, but you have to be able to make sure that the fold is at the top, that I give it space so that it's not cutting. So then I'll push it down. So now it's a kind of a fancier tab. It's just nice looking. And then I just glue it or staple it. If you get another piece, a little bit of heavier paper, and use it to insert in areas and put the tab on it, that would be great. So let's just try that. I'm gonna fold it in half. Okay, and make sure that it's the size of this paper. Okay, so there we go. I need to put it here and here. And you could put it around here like this. Put it in, here's the first page. And then you could put the label, the tabby, right on here. And again, you can use clips or put something heavy on it like that and let it dry. That's how you make your tabs. All right, that's it for today. Make it now with Linda Lang.